Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. This is Bear with Bear's Den Acrylic Art with another painting video. This time from another angle. Trying something with a new mount that I got that isn't what I need, but it's what I have, so we're going to try and make it work. And so long as the phone does not, fall off again, I will be in good shape. When I say again, it is because this is the first canvas I tried and my phone fell and it tore. So I am going to see if there is a way to repair this otherwise perfectly good 16 by 20 by 1.5, but we'll see. So I just taped up another one, pinned the back, made it all level, and we are going to get started. Now tonight, instead of a Dutch pour, I'm going to do another swipe. And this one is going to be kind of a continuation of the Ghost on Ghost that I had done. Because I did a bunch of Dutch pours, and I never really tried it in a swipe, and I'm curious to see what will actually happen. Mostly because my interference colors, which is what I had been using, are all golden. And golden doesn't really like selling, doesn't really like pearls. So I'm hoping that with the addition of a metallic, that we'll get some cells, we'll get some lacing, so time will tell. But for now, I have a 16 by 20, not torn. So give me a second, let me flood it and get the air bubbles popped, and I will be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. The canvas is flooded, bubbles are popped, and all that jazz. So let us get started. Now, with the interference colors, typically, people use them in addition to darker colors, so they can interfere with the light, the angle with which, the viewer has to give off a different color, which is a little bit different than a color shift. Because you get to see the original color and then, the interference color over it. So what we are going to do is I have all of my golden colors. I am going to layer in some Pearl White by Dazzling Metallics. That's the one I'm hoping will give me, some cells. And then my swipe color, because I didn't want to use a titanium white because that is opaque, and that is, that would really kind of negate what I'm trying to do. So I am going to be using Pearl White by Amsterdam as my swipe color. So I have you guys somewhat in the middle. I'm going to do this as an offset. This is the Amsterdam, because words, the Amsterdam Pearl White, and this is going to be my swipe color, like I said. Now all of these colors, including this one, all of these colors are mixed 2:1 to 0.75, so 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint to 0.75 parts water. All right, so it gives it a very, very thin consistency, which for a swipe is what we're after. So this is the Golden's Interference Red. And I'm going to put it a little heavier, a little thicker on this side because we've got much more ground to cover, as opposed to the top half of the canvas. Well, not even half, like maybe the top 25%. All right. So we are going in with Golden Interference Orange, which this one was a heavy body. So it took, a little bit more water than the 0.75. That's just kind of the base. So you really just want to, take it on a paint by paint basis. The main thing is, the consistency needs to be the same across the board. So all of the paints move in the same fashion. All right, since I don't have an interference yellow, I do have an interference gold. So also a heavy body. Now, this might be successful, this might not be. I haven't done a swipe with, the interference. So I am just as curious to see. And there's no silicone oil, no cell activators, just the paint. All right, so this is the golden, this is interference green orange. All right. And this was a soft body or a fluid acrylic, not the high flow, but the fluid acrylic. So this took almost next to no water. Next we have the interference blue. And then lastly, we're going to go in with the interference violet. Again, putting it heavier on this side because it is an offset swipe, which means the horizon isn't at the center. All right. So now this brings us to the Pearl White Dazzling Metallic by Deco Art. So what I'm going to do, well, first, because I don't want it to get lost, I'm going to go back in and just give a little bit more of the Pearl White. All right. So this is kind of going between the interference red, orange, and gold. So my hope is that some cells will be created. So let's pop some bubbles. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. I can see something. Don't want to take my eye off the paper towel yet. So I got to stick the dismount. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but there definitely is some lacing. If you can't see it, I'll show you in the close-up. But there definitely is some lacing going on, which is very good for me. So let's keep going. So we're just going nice and slow. This is just really weird not being able to quite monitor my progress. So I'm used to, obviously used to doing this with, contrasting color, which I'm able to see. So just slow and steady and even. Help it off the bottom. This is probably really boring for you to watch because I imagine you can't really see a whole heck of a lot. But from my vantage point, there really is some great, lacing, and like towards the bottom here, I'm actually getting some cells, which is really cool. So rather than risk turning the canvas around, because I am historically very klutzy, I am just going to meet you over on the other side of the table. Make sure I don't kick the tripod. So hello. All right. So let's try this again. So we are just going to replenish the swipe line ever so slightly. Okay. And since I don't like matchy-matchy, as I've explained, we're just gonna offset this a little bit. Now I don't expect a whole lot on this side because there isn't nearly the amount of space for the paint to do its thing. But you never know. Well, it's definitely textured, which is a weird kind of effect. So let's just keep on moving. But yeah, I was looking at the 6 canvases that make up the Ghost on Ghost series today, and notice like, oh, I never tried a swipe. So that was the impetus for this little experiment. All right. I am really liking how this is coming together. You all are just going to have to take my word for it, because I really don't think you can see anything from your vantage point. And I'm always trying to, you can't see it, I think it's out of frame, but half of this paper towel is hanging off the edge, and I always struggle to get a clean edge on my swipes, just because, the paint wants to drag. Whoa. Kick my light. All right, this is interesting. There's a lot more texture to this piece than I was expecting. But yeah, let me bring you guys down for the close-up so you can finally see what I have been prattling on about. So yeah, so let me bring you down. All right, here is the close-up. This is the center swipe line. Now, I know it's tough to make out because it is tone on tone, but you can see the lacing that is present, all right? And that is on both sides of this particular equator. So there's some really great texture to this piece. All right, and you can see some natural cells that popped up towards the bottom. All right, and that's just the base coat. That's the Artist Loft Flow White. So I know this was probably not the most exciting video to watch, because it's, we're used to, yay, color, but this is just a whole lot of white. But when this dries and you see it in different lights, you can kind of see the colors wanting to come out. So, but this was a fun experiment, and I am glad that I took the time to do this. All right, guys, so thank you again for taking the time to watch my little experiment here. I am quite pleased with how it turned out. I'm very interested to see how it dries, because the color shift isn't as apparent right now as it was with the other pieces that were Dutch pours. But I am just happy that I got the texture that I desired. So, if you are new and you have not subscribed yet, and you think you might like it, please hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that share, leave a comment. This has been a lot of fun so far, and I have gotten some really great feedback from viewers. So I would like to continue to get good feedback. So yeah, please consider subscribing if you haven't. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Everybody have a great weekend. And yeah, this is Bear with Bears Done Acrylic Art. Have a good night.